members of
with regard to the journalists, I will first of all say that they will first of all end impunity. I keep saying it, first of all end impunity in Cameroon. Secondly, they will make sure that freedom of information and freedom of the press is guaranteed in Cameroon. But one of the greatest problems why most of these journalists are being targeted, because the government does not want to exercise the freedom of information, provide information when something happens. They don't want to give information to these journalists, thereby forcing these journalists to go back and take based now on the either hearsay or whistleblowers who give them information on the background. And when you take the information now and publish, since the state is never wanted to give you the information, you'll be forced to be targeted. I equally say that the journalists in Cameroon need to equally do everything possible to be professional, because there are some journalists that are not professional. What they are doing is no longer journalism. And I pray to the National Communication Council to make sure that it change its strategy and modus operandi, and make sure that it acts or it sanctions journalists based on all the journalists without any exception. Not that the sanctions should be selective, while you see other journalists who are going against the ethics and deontology of profession and nothing is done. But with regard to the Anglophone crisis, I would say that the government of Cameroon should best of all do everything possible for the conflicting parties to do everything possible to declare a bilateral ceasefire, followed by the release of all those who have been arrested and detained in connection to the crisis, and an inclusive and sincere dialogue. That's the only way out of the crisis. As I just said, that we cannot solve an ideological problem with the use of violence. It's very clear, and the government have tried and failed, and we all know that it be the separatists or the government or the state and the state force cannot win the war in the north and south region. It's only through an amicable dialogue, a sincere and a neutral dialogue, and that's why we was happy when we recently when the Melanie Joly, the minister of external relations in Canada, came out with a recommendation saying that it was a decision taken by both parties, the conflicting parties. It is rather unfortunate that a few days after, it's frustrating to hear that the government of Cameroon was trying to deny that he was not a part of it. Meanwhile, Melanie made it very clear that she is still in contact with those Cameroonians, those that the government sent, and they are still responding positively, saying that they should go ahead with the initiative. So I pray that the government of Cameroon to make sure that she embrace this Canada initiative for us to seek a lasting solution to this crisis. These are Cameroonians that are dying, and the government is turning blind eyes for 6 years today. Thousands of civilians and people, the defense forces and the separatists have been killed. And what are we benefiting from this? There's nothing we are benefiting from this. At least we are all Cameroonians. That one is true. And these people, if the government sees that when you have a child and the child is crying that it's not, everything is not going on, and you don't look at the situation, what do we expect the child to do? So,
all right, Amadou. Engineer Elvis, I come back to you for some few words of the way out as far as this specific issue of the Anglophone crisis is concerned.
Well, I think dialogue is the only way out. Dialogue. And when we talk about dialogue here, we wish that the government of Cameroon, at least for once, would commit to dialogue. Because, at least for once, with this Canadian initiative, we were able for once to see almost all the separatist arms come together to accept or endorse the idea of the Canadian initiative, because the question has always been, with whom do we dialogue? But if for once they accepted to come into dialogue, let the government on its own part to also commit, and then we begin from there and see how far it goes. But if they are coming up to the table today, and now the government is the one backing off from the dialogue, then I think there is a sincere problem. So I just want to think that the government, just like the separatists, they should all be committed to dialogue. And then secondly, we should also understand, when I say we, I'm referring to the belligerents, the two camps, the state of Cameroon and of course the arms fighters. They should not continuously pretend to say they are fighting to defend their people or fighting to safeguard the interests of the people, where at the end of the day, these civilian population are the #1 victims in both in their